Saturday in Muncie. You're watching the MAC on ESPN. And today at Ball State, it's the start of something new. For some, the same trip to Schumann Stadium and the same Cardinal walk. But it's brand new for the new head coach, Mike Juremovich, from Butler to Ball State, coaching his first home game at Schumann Stadium. And he will face Rick Santos and a New Hampshire program out of the FCS that pulled off this exact upset 16 years ago. A challenge in Ball State's first home game. It is great to have you with us today. Jack Kaiser alongside Ryan Cavanaugh. Ball State opened with losses at Purdue and Auburn. Not the easiest schedule to start with for a new head coach. Ryan, we're going to get our first taste of what Ball State really is today.
Absolutely. Now, they've been tested. They've been on the road, and they couldn't be happier to be back here in Muncie, Indiana. I expect a lot of different Ball State players to get involved offensively as they look to find their offensive identity.
As for New Hampshire, they bring Uncle Mo with them 1,000 miles from the East Coast, coming off a win over Holy Cross. Nick Reed, the hero at the buzzer.
4 field goals in total, 1 from 50, as you said, the game winner. And those 2 wins have put New Hampshire in the top 25 in FCS. And this afternoon, they have an opportunity to make a statement win and move up those ranks by knocking off Ball State.
They have done this before. 5 straight FBS wins from 2004 to 2009, including that 09 game here in Muncie with a win over Ball State. 2-0 to start the season, playing very well defensively. It'll challenge Kyle Kelly. He's been all over the field. He's got to prove it under center now.
Last year, he was playing cornerback. He was more of a gadget player. He got a taste of playing in 2023, but the whole time Kyle Kelly thought he was QB1. He knew his teammates trusted he could be QB1. He is the definition of a dual threat quarterback, and I expect to see a heavy dose of Kyle Kelly both running and throwing the football.
Nick Reed set to kick us off. Ball State going for win number 1. North Hampshire, New Hampshire, a chance for an FBS upset and a 3-0 start. Here comes Quay Ashley, a dangerous return man, and transfer from Kennesaw State. And Ball State with good field position to begin the game for Kyle Kelly. He is yet to throw a touchdown pass to a receiver in his career. He is going to be mainly on the ground today, Ryan, representing a complete shift in Ball State's offensive philosophy.
Well, it's all focused around Kyle Kelly because of, as you see here, 32 passing attempts, 37 rushing, and he will have a lot of designed runs for him. Look for him also, play action, naked boots, getting him out on the edge.
He'll throw to start, and it's off the fingertips of Kobe Gross. Dangerously close to an interception. That's the question today, Ryan. Can Ball State get the passing game going on this side of the ball?
Well, I like the idea right away, a short pass to get your tight end Kobe Gross involved, as well as get some confidence for Kyle Kelly, but threw it on the wrong side of the receiver, and that ball was tipped in the air, and there was a chance for an interception by Raleigh Collins, the defensive back for New Hampshire, who's really a ball hawk.
2 interceptions already this year for Collins. Oh, second down. Kelly to the air once again, deflected again, nearly picked again. Zoran Skinner came dangerously close, the transfer from FAU.
Skinner makes a nice break on the ball, but it's the defensive end getting his hand up. That's the rule. If you're rushing the quarterback and you can't get home, get your hand up, get in the passing lane. That was Zach Guerin who got his hand on that football.
Guerin, captain, part of a New Hampshire defense that is brand new. 10 starters left after last year's playoff season for New Hampshire. Giving up just 10 points a game through the first 2, though. And an early 3rd and long for Ball State. Kelly dangerous with his legs, but swarmed by the UNH defense around the 40. Ball State's going 3 and out on its first possession.
Kelly had to spill. There's a terrific pass rush from the left side of Kyle Kelly by DJ Johnson. Look at number 7, forced his way in between the linemen and causes Kelly to pull the ball down and run. Beautiful pass rush by Johnson.
A pass rush for New Hampshire has traditionally been strong for Ricky Santos, coming off 4 sacks last week in the win over Holy Cross. And Adam Saul getting his first chance to be a starting punter in Division I, has it blocked. Picked up by New Hampshire on the way to the end zone. Brendan Ty takes it back, and the Wildcats jump out early.
We just talked about the pass rush of DJ Johnson, and he does it again, this time on special teams, taking the football right off the foot of Adam Saul. Watch number 7. Relentless pass rush picked up by Ty into the end zone, and New Hampshire has shocked the home crowd here at Ball State.
The 3rd blocked kick by New Hampshire this season. First blocked punt. What a start. Ryan, when these upsets happen, it takes critical plays like that. Turnovers, special teams, and New Hampshire did just that just a couple minutes in. Nick Reed, the hero from last week, with the extra point. Got a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
There's no foul for running to the kicker. The try is good.
Rick Warren, our referee. 7-0 New Hampshire. We said it right off the top, Ryan. They've done this before in Muncie, back in 2009. Pulled off the upset over Ball State. And Rick Santos has got to be jacked up after that start.
You couldn't draw it up any better. They did what they wanted to defensively. They got after the quarterback, and then DJ Johnson, what a terrific block, and that is textbook on blocking a kick. Brandon Ty is there, takes it into the end zone, and you could not have drawn up a start better for the Wildcats and Rick Santos.
They made the playoffs a bunch of years in a row. This is a program that expects to be in the top 25 in the FCS pretty much every year. They are now ranked 23rd in the latest poll. In the semifinals with Sean McDonald as the head coach just over 10 years ago. 2 playoff appearances in the last 3 years. We mentioned the momentum they brought to Muncie, and that carried over into the start of this game. Ashley returning for the 2nd time off the block punt for a touchdown, and wrapped up with a 30. How does Ball State recover now? I mean, that is just a major shift, and another slow start for these Cardinals after a rough first couple of weeks.
Well, you have to have a short memory, and you need to just reset, rebalance, and the game starts now, essentially.
Kyle Kelly trying to find the passing game. Again, mainly a running quarterback. And the Cardinals went 3 and out on their first possession, coming off 68 total yards against Auburn last week in a 42-3 loss. Out of the pistol, Ashley. And handled at the 35. A nice pickup of 5 on first down. Mike Uremovich, his first home game, not the start he wanted. Had great success at Butler, winning seasons all 3 years. He'll also call the plays. Running quarterbacks, we talked about that with Kyle Kelly. That's his bread and butter, exactly what he did back at Butler.
It's great talking to him this week about his quarterbacks and how much he likes to run them, and he considers them runners. And they pull the football down, not quarterbacks. This time, You got T.J. Horton, the running back, who lined up wide and came in motion to get the football.
Some words for Darren Burton II as well, coming around the edge in the first down for Ball State. Between Nick Howard and Reagan Andrew at Butler last year, those were the two leading rushers on the team for the Bulldogs, and it's going to be no different with Kyle Kelly this year.
Kelly is a perfect fit offensively for what Mike Removich likes to do.
Plenty of space for Eric Weatherly. Breaks a tackle and is near the sticks. Looks like a half-yard shy. No, they'll move him now. First down pickup on first down. Couple in a row for Ball State.
Weatherly running tough. Only 5'8", under 180 pounds, but he can go.
Horton dodges one around the edge. Ball State's had some space on this possession and shoved out of bounds after a short gain by Sean Webb.
Really nice job by T.J. Horton. When it looked like he didn't have anything, 3 defenders in front of him, he gives a leg, slows down, and allows his blockers to get set up. Gets away from a defender. Watch this little hesitation move, which allows Weatherly to get up front with a key block. That earned him about 5 extra yards. Very high IQ football play.
His coach is very high on T.J. Horton. Him and Quay Ashley could be a dynamic combo this year. Here's Horton again. Plenty of touches on the second possession for Ball State. They'll set up 3rd and short, something Ball State did not have much of over the first couple of weeks.
It was a point of emphasis this week for Coach Yu as well as the rest of the staff. Every interview, every time he spoke, he mentioned, we have to win on 1st and 2nd down. Now, it didn't happen in that first drive, but so far on this second drive, they're doing just that.
So it comes down to execution. No other way to put it. Ashley in the backfield with Kelly. And Kelly keeps, squirts away, still on his feet. And there goes Kelly. Tie game.
That's the explosiveness that Kyle Kelly brings to an offense. Also a lot of power. Looks like Trevor Berry has Kelly. This is a design quarterback run. He hides behind the line and then decides to bounce it out. And there's Berry. And the only thing he tackles is Kelly's towel. And when Kyle Kelly gets into the open field, it's just him and the goal line. He's going to get to that goal line.
The tie game solidified by Carson Homer. Kelly dynamic on the ground and showing it in Ball State's second possession when they needed it the most. All knotted at 7 in Ball State's home opener. Mike Yuremovich, and his offense responds with a touchdown drive, 6 plays, 69 yards. Coming over from Butler, just down I-69. Again, 3 seasons, winning seasons, ending in a 9-3 year, just missing the FCS playoffs. This is his first FBS coaching job. Mike Yuremovich, he's been calling plays over the last decade, but an offensive coordinator at Temple and Northern Illinois. He's thrilled to be at home, and he's a pretty serious guy, so it's hard to get a smile out of him. He did not deny that he's pretty excited to be here for the home opener, and especially not get home at 5 a.m. the next day.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of games last week were affected by weather. Some delays. Travel's never easy, especially when you're a coach and you want to get right back after next week.
That was a long trip to Auburn, a couple of tough losses for Ball State to start the year, and a tough start to this one with a blocked punt for a touchdown from New Hampshire. All tied at 7, and the first time that we actually get to see Matt Beza, the 3rd starter in 3 years for UNH at quarterback, following Seth Morgan, Max Brosmer before him. Ryan, ultimately, it was his mobility and the unscripted plays that won him the job.
Yeah, and Coach Santos said that going into week 1, he was going to rotate with Brooks Bentley. They never really decided on a starter, and Beza played so well on the road that they couldn't afford to take him out, and it's been his job ever since.
Throwing on first down, scanning and connecting at the 30 with Caleb Burke, his top target this year after 5 years, ascending to that #1 receiver role.
Caleb Burke looks like a big man in the post there, boxing out the defender. Nice little flip, uses his body to shield him, and that's a great play on first down.
We'll see if he's matched up with Will Yates, the best basketball player for the Ball State defense.
Maybe halftime entertainment.
Yeah.
A little one-on-one. I'm taking Will Yates.
Me too.
Based on just Kelly telling us that.
Back to Burke again. Not as much space this time. A minimal game, actually a loss of about a half a yard, with Muhim Macargo on the tackle, transfer from Division II Virginia Union to set up 3rd and medium on New Hampshire's first possession.
Great job by Macargo, just keeping the receiver, the ball carrier in front of him, waiting for the cavalry to arrive from the inside.
Haven't seen Miles Thomason yet. This has been a more run-heavy New Hampshire offense like Ball State's. Couple of quick passes to start. 3rd down. In the air, got a first down. Burke with his 3rd catch already, and just inside the 40.
Great job by this offensive line to protect Beza. And Burke just comes straight across and gets right into the vision of Beza. Easy pass and catch. Those are always my favorite passes, right over the middle, because a 5-yard pass is a 5-yard pass. Sometimes you throw it outside, and a 5-yard pass, it takes 25 yards to get to the receiver. So anytime it's right in front of you, those are the easiest. And so far, 2 of the 3 completions from Beza to Burke were right in the middle of the field.
I nearly hit the turf. It was picked up off the turf by Caleb Burke once again. Already got 4 catches.
He's going to just tell listeners, we promise there's other people on New Hampshire that actually carry the football other than Caleb Burke. And now he's off the field, so we're almost guaranteed somebody else is going to touch the football.
You expect that to be Thomason, the other top playmaker for New Hampshire. No running plays yet. Now, Rick Santos did say they would try out the quick pass game early today and open up that run game for the second half. Off the pressure, and Beza will throw it into the turf. This is a Ball State defensive line that can absolutely wreck the game.
And the leader of that group is Nathan Voris. And right there, he impacted the game. Take a look at Voris, number 44.
You know, it was ruled a fumble on the field, Ryan.
Interesting. Yeah, he wanted it. He was throwing it to Thomason out of the backfield, but Macargo was waiting. And as he was going to throw it, he saw number 16 in black trying to pull it back.
The rule on the field is an incomplete pass. It's 3rd down.
Good correction by the crew. But Ball State, if they're going to have success defensively today and throughout the season, it's going to start with that defensive line.
That is their deepest, most experienced group. A lot of players you're going to see rotate in on that defensive line. And again, Voris and his relentless motor when he pass rushes and in run against the run defensively is really the captain, the catalyst of that defensive line.
Keep your eyes on Burke. Motion's out now. He was in the backfield for a trick play touchdown pass last week against Holy Cross. Already 4 catches today. Veza looking the other way. Over the top to Chase Wilson. Veza taking a shot and delivering a beauty.
Yeah, good pressure up front. They get it on the lower half, but he drops it right into the bucket for Chase Wilson. That's a cover 2. You see the safety just a little late coming over. And Chase Wilson gets past Roman Pearson for a big game to flip the field.
The D3 transfer from Wesleyan, 27-yard pickup. First touch from Miles Thomason. Near the sticks. Looks like it's enough for a first down for New Hampshire on the move here.
What I like about New Hampshire's offense is they're mixing it up. And what I mean by that is they're hitting the short routes, they're hitting intermediate routes over the middle. They've taken a shot deep. So they're really keeping Ball State's defense guessing as to where the next attack is going to come from.
About the yard short. And approaching the red zone at the 25.
And that's not the worst thing to have a 2nd and 1 rather than a 1st and 10, because you can kind of experiment on this down and try something different if you like.
Yeah, let's see if New Hampshire gets creative here. Ed Borden calling the plays. First run for Thomason. Coming off the 9-yard catch, and he scampers inside of the red zone.
On this drive, a straight handoff is creative.
Yes. We've seen anything but.
Yeah, so they got creative. You were absolutely spot on there.
Thomason's first year as the feature back, taking on a massive workload. 41 carries for him coming into the game. The rest of the New Hampshire running backs, 5 combined.
We expect that if what Coach Santos told us this week, we expect that to be different this week. They want to get more guys like Miney and Gibson involved in the run game.
From under center, got a jet sweep coming. And Logan Perez is chopped down inside of the 15.
Logan Perez is a guy that has real game-breaking speed.
Officials timeout for Ninja player on defense.
And Perez coming into this game did not have a stat, not a catch, not a run. And it was, again, when we talk about points of emphasis in the game plan, Logan Perez is a guy that Rick Santos and Ed Borden, offense coordinator, really want to get the ball in the hands of.
Outside of Wilson and McKinney, rather Burke, he seems like the next guy to step up at that receiver position. They've been active to start here. A lot of pass for New Hampshire, who's been more of a running team to start the year. Veza, middle of the field, wide open, Wilson. Touchdown.
Pass completed to Chase Wilson.
Excellent execution by the entire offense on that play. We've talked so much about Ball State's pass rush, but this offensive line created a wall of a pocket, and Chase Wilson finds himself wide open on what can only be described as a blown coverage right in the middle of the field. Veza hits him on the spot into the end zone, and New Hampshire takes the lead again.
Communication an issue at times for Ball State's defense last year. They gave up 40 points a game. New Hampshire's offense strikes for the first time to complement the blocked punt for a TD. Wilson on the board with his first touchdown as a Wildcat. New Hampshire in front on the road at Muncie. Kick off your Week 2 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. You'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. And this week, Joe Flacco, Cleveland Browns. Yes, he's still playing. And let's flash back to 2006, a year before the iPhone came out. Ricky Santos at quarterback for UNH against the ageless wonder, elite Joe Flacco in Delaware. 52-49 UNH. Ryan, the scoreboard operator, was more tired than anybody after the game.
Well, this is shaping up to be that type of game. So cancel your dinner plans. We might be here for a while if we have 101 onside kick.
UNH going for it, and they might have it. What execution. There is a flag. Sean Webb on the recovery. Did he touch it too early?
Offside. Kicking team, number 16. 5-yard penalty. We roll, you kick.
Jump the gun a little bit. What an aggressive call.
Wow. And that's Josh Fillion, number 16, who leaves a little early. He's right around the hashes at the bottom. Oh, he was definitely out there in front, and he was the first guy to touch the football as well. What, you said it, what an aggressive, what a bold move by Santos. Here to win, not to take part, but to win the football game.
I mean, special teams, always a big part of upsets when they do happen. And you didn't think you'd see something that topped the block punt for a touchdown. We almost saw something equally impactful. A squibber up the middle to try and neutralize Ashley. It's taken by Weatherly. Still pretty good field position for Ball State to start, just past the 35.
Weatherly on the return.
So we saw the highlights. Hard to believe that was 19 years ago from 2006. Santos at quarterback. The best quarterback in New Hampshire history. Honestly, one of the best in FCS history.
And he looks like he can still play. Actually, before the players came out, Santos was down on the field with another coach throwing the football. And not only does he look like he could still sling the football, he looked game ready about 90 minutes ago. But it's that gunslinger mentality that he used at the quarterback position that he's bringing to the coaching position at UNH, going for the onside kick on the road. I love it.
You look like you could still play.
Thank you.
Kelly over the middle. Catch for Donovan Hamilton. Nearly broke it loose across midfield. The first career catch for the redshirt freshman out of Fishers, Indiana, just down the road.
Big receiver, 6'4", over 200 pounds. Nice moves and almost gets away from the tackle. Duncan Moreland with the touchdown-saving tackle, or Donovan Hamilton will be on his way into the end zone.
Big 6'4" receiver. Out of the pistol, first down. Ball State's offense fresh off a touchdown. Ashley might be on his way to another. Ashley, great speed. He's in.
Ashley gets loose.
First touchdown for Quay Ashley, and Ball State punches back.
Take a look at this. The hole opened up by this offensive line. And Ashley, now I don't know if I could have ran through that hole, but I could have driven a small car through that hole. I think my running days are over. Quay Ashley, his are not. Beautiful job getting inside the pylon, taking it all the way to the house. Quay Ashley is an extra point away from tying this football game back up.
Aaron Roberts at left guard, opening up the hole. And the extra point for Homer ties us at 14. Fireworks in all three phases to begin the game. Not even done with the first yet. Quay Ashley expected to spearhead the Ball State running attack alongside Kyle Kelly this year, coming off a 40-yard touchdown run to tie up the game at 14. Something Ball State basically had none of over the first couple of weeks. Purdue, Auburn stymied them on the ground, understanding that's what Ball State really wanted to do. New Hampshire hasn't been able to do it yet.
Ashley's an explosive player, and I think, you know, we saw how many rushes Kelly had through the first 2 weeks. I think getting Ashley, Horton, Elijah Jackson, getting them the football will allow more space for Kelly when he decides to run the football, taking some of the focus off of him.
Here comes Perez, a short return, barely got past the 15. New Hampshire trying to replicate their last drive when they threw the ball right down the field. Bit of a surprise for Matt Veza. Again, been known more for his legs to start the season, and a guy who's blossomed later in games. That has been totally flipped today. Second drive for the New Hampshire offense. Back to the air, back to Wilson, coming off a touchdown catch, and muscles his way for a first down.
Veza looks very comfortable out there, very composed. Ed Borton this week described him as a very professional quarterback. Goes about his business. He's serious about it. Of course, at times he'll laugh with the guys and do that, but he takes his role as quarterback very seriously, and that includes a lot of time in the film room.
Did those quick throws early in the game settle you down when you were a quarterback?
Absolutely. You want to, well, two things. One, you want to see it, the ball complete, and then two, I needed to be hit.
Wilson for a second straight time, squirts ahead, gets a positive gain out of it across the 30.
But here you're going to get 5 yards, you're getting your wide receivers, you're getting a lot of people involved, and it starts lessening the pressure of the defense because now they're looking to go sideline to sideline, they're moving them around, and watch New Hampshire look to go back to the middle of the field, whether it's running or bringing a guy over the middle. I always need to get hit. Like, until I got hit, I didn't feel like I was in the game.
Maybe not too hard.
No, never too hard, but just like a light tap.
Got Drew Danson in at fullback right now with Miney behind him. Elliot Miney bowling ahead, bouncing off a couple of tackles, and wrapped up by Jack Beebe, a fifth-year senior's first year as a starter.
That's a nice collision there by Beebe and Miney, bringing the fullback in. Going old school with the offense over there for the Wildcats.
We talk about getting creative for both of these offenses, no more for their run game coming in. You can be creative in the run game too.
Absolutely, and you see a lot more of that now in college football with motions, misdirection, counters, but the formations and the motions, that's a lot of window dressing, but ultimately a lot of the plays are the same. The creativity comes with personnel and formations and motions.
3rd and 3. Veza facing pressure, dives ahead. Looked short initially. He is a yard short. Rick Santos has been aggressive early in this game. Does he go for this on 4th down?
Nathan Voris, the defensive end for Ball State, that time again coming play side around the right tackle, causing Veza to run it, and it looks like the offense is staying on the field for the Wildcats.
Only done it once so far this year. If they do snap it, could be a major play early in the game. Here it comes. Veza has the space. An easy pickup on 4th down, and a roll of the dice for Santos again pays off.
When we talked about getting creative, look at the number of offensive linemen in the game. They brought in Tyler Habersham, a backup tackle, and instead of tight ends, they just put extra linemen in there. They had a nice double team up front with Habersham and Maklevich, and that allowed Veza to find a crease, get the first down yardage.
That's what we've seen a lot out of Matt Vezza to start the year. But he's played a complete game so far today in the first quarter. Under a minute to go in the opening period. Little play action. Off his back foot, he floats, nearly picked. Jamad Harmon roaming.
That was a dangerous pass by Matt Vezza. And this week, Ed Borden, the offensive coordinator, told us that he thinks that Vezza is sometimes a little too protective of the football. And I know what that sounds like. We want our quarterback to protect the football, but sometimes he wants to let it rip a little bit downfield. But I don't think that's what Borden was referencing, because that was a dangerous lofted pass.
On the flip side, Mike Uremovich noticed that Vezza will throw some dangerous balls if there's pressure. That's exactly what happened. Second down. Big hole for Miney. A little shake and cut down at the 40. Ashton Whitner saved a touchdown.
You're going to see 61 Tyler Habersham and 75 Bo Riley kick out. Look at the size of this hole that Riley and Habersham created. That is a nice open field tackle by Ashton Whitner, because Miney had a lot of green space ahead of him if he was able to get past Whitner.
Offensive line expected to be the strength for New Hampshire coming into the season. And New Hampshire content to run this down at the end of the first quarter. What a first quarter it was.
This is the end of the first quarter. Timeout.
Within a couple of minutes, a blocked punt for a touchdown. Brendan Ty, Kyle Kelly with the answer. Both offenses now in rhythm. Ball State's home opener in a battle with FCS New Hampshire. Hope you caught your breath during the break. 14 apiece, start of the second quarter. Second ever meeting between New Hampshire and Ball State. Wildcats knocked off the Cardinals here in 2009. Started with a blocked punt for a touchdown, and now the offenses are following suit. Mike Uremovich calling the plays. First year as the head coach for Ball State. In rhythm on that side. Ball State trying to find a rhythm defensively. But New Hampshire is showing a very versatile offense to begin this game. Really impressive.
They're keeping Ball State off balance because they're not being consistent. They're doing a lot of different things, moving the ball on the outside. They're mixing in the run now. And, you know, we talked about how heavy of a load Miles Thomason has had up through this season, but this drive has been all Elliott Miney, and we just saw him carry the football again.
Had 4 carries week 1 at North Carolina Central. The first touches of his career. That was it coming into the game. Veza sacked for the first time today. Darren Conley got there first. Drew Hughes with a late pounce as well.
Conley with a really quick move off the edge. And you're going to see him on the right of your screen. Rushing from the defensive tackle position. Able to get past Habersham. And what has largely been dominated by offensive lines thus far, opening holes, pass protecting. Right there, impact from Darian Conley with the defense is punching back.
Had 5 sacks last week against Auburn, 4 of those in the first half. Their first today. Third down, Veza nearly picked off. Behind Burke, Will Yates was on his tail.
Veza hasn't had too many passes where he's just missed this afternoon, but this was one of them in a big spot. He's coming open, and most likely Veza thought he was gonna not turn that into an out route, but kind of post up there and threw it behind his receiver.
First punt for New Hampshire today. Ball State already had a punt blocked, recovered for a touchdown. First year as the starting punter for Matt Geidebeck. Eric Weatherly pointing. He takes a Ball State bounce, settles at the 10.
Ball is down.
So after an offensive first quarter, of course, a great defensive start to the second. Ball State up next. The most dynamic part of Ball State's offense this year will be the run game. Just hard to see that over the first couple of weeks with the competition they played at Purdue, at Auburn. 68% of their plays so far this year have been on the ground, and expect that number to stay pretty consistent with Mike Uremovich calling the plays.
What's been his calling card throughout his career, not only as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator calling the plays.
He said, everybody asks, are you concerned about the quarterback staying healthy? His flags fly on first down.
Full start. Offense. Number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Mike Uremovich isn't concerned about Kyle Kelly on the move. He said quarterbacks in his offenses have only really gotten hurt when they've been defenseless in the pocket.
Right. It's hard to anticipate hits sometimes when you're in the pocket, but when Kelly pulls the ball down and runs, he then has the mindset of a running back, and he's anticipating hits.
Hands off to a running back here, Quay Ashley. Another nice hole, and Ball State gets 6 on first down after the penalty.
Going back to Coach Yu and his play calling, he says they're going to have 66 plays on the wristband. His call sheet this week has 84 plays. And we talked to him about preparation. What do you do before games? And he says, well, whoever's playing Friday evening in college football, I'll sit with my play sheet, and I will call plays as if I was calling the plays during that game. Very interesting. But it's a great way to get your mindset and, towards calling plays.
On the move, nearly a catch for Cameron Anthony. They do want to get Kyle Kelly rolling out of the pocket. Pretty accurate throw, but Anthony not able to hang on.
He gets a hand on it. This is a 3-level route. So you've got the wide receiver in motion coming across, and then you have Anthony who put one hand out there, and you see the outside wide receiver deep. It was the right read. Just missed between tight end, and sometimes I think wide receivers want to put one hand out instead of two.
Looks cooler.
Yeah, I think so.
Third down. Kelly rolling out again, little sidearm sling, and the catch is made. Right near the 20, Keon Magwood dragging his feet. This is inches one way or the other.
On the field is a catch, short of one to gain. Fourth down. The running on the field is a catch, short of one to gain. The previous play is under review.
Right now ruled inches short, and they will take a look.
The offense was staying on the field.
That was a pretty difficult throw for Kelly to make.
Yeah, it was good ball placement, too. We had a chance to talk to Kyle Kelly this week. And let's take a look at this.
So keep an eye on the 20. That's the line to gain. It's difficult to see. Most of the angles blocked. Ruled short. It'll be interesting to see if there's enough evidence to overturn the call.
And they may also be looking at, is it a catch at all? Because to me, it looked like his left foot may have landed out of bounds before his right toe drags. Take a look at this again, Jack.
Is that left foot still on the ground? Or right foot, rather.
Right foot, yeah, it's hard to tell, but it's like, does he secure the football? Does he have the catch, and is that foot down? Because there you see the left hit down out of bounds. Either way, there's a good, nice pass, and this is a tough decision. If it stands as a catch and it's a yard short, it's decision time.
After review, the runner reached the line to gain. It'll be first down at the 20-yard line.
Wow, they determined there was enough evidence to show that Magwood did keep his feet in bounds and reach the 20.
Beautiful catch. When we talked to Kyle Kelly this week, he said, that guy, Magwood, is my security blanket. When I need a big play, he's the guy I look towards, and he just did it. And Keon Magwood delivered the big play that Kelly wanted.
Tough throw, tough catch, and the rootmates connect for a first down. Kelly stepping up in the pocket and picked off with one hand. Reaching behind Duncan Moreland.
Kyle Kelly did not put enough air under this football, and he didn't throw it far enough. Duncan Moreland, very heads-up play, and an athletic one as that. At that, he's in trail coverage, and you want to throw that up over top. Moreland reaches back and pulls the ball away from Weatherly. What a play.
One of two captains at safety, the most veteran part of the New Hampshire defense. Got Brendan Tye with the punt recovery for a touchdown, playing the same position. Duncan Moreland with a pick. Most impactful position for New Hampshire so far today, as Thomason is wrapped up in the backfield.
That's Ashton Naraki coming off the edge. And, you know, Ball State, first time we mentioned Naraki's name, but they're going to go 11, 12 guys on the defensive line alone, rotating him in.
Expected to be the deepest position, the best unit, arguably, for Ball State this year. Better on New Hampshire's last possession. A big task here, trying to keep them at bay after the turnover. Veza standing strong in the pocket and delivers a strike over the middle. Peyton Strickland, part of a veteran tight end group with the catch.
Really nice job by Veza. Looking off and then coming back right in the middle to find Strickland. That's the third or fourth pass he's completed right in the middle of the field.
He's looked very comfortable in the pocket so far today.
He has. He has a level of composure to him. Even when you see him looking to the sidelines, walking up to the line as he is here, he's a very relaxed looking quarterback.
He's been in the shotgun. He's been under center. And a pitch. Could be a double pass. Going deep. Ball State all over it. Technically wouldn't have been a double pass. A pitch and then a pass, looking for Josh Fillion, who caught a similar type of ball from Caleb Burke last week.
Take a look at this. Fillion's going to come in motion. And he's going to look. Logan Perez, I thought this could have been a pass interference at the end there, where Perez sort of gets wrapped up. And there was an official standing right at the goal line looking right at it. He didn't throw his flag, so he clearly has a better view than we do up here, but looked like a lot of downfield contact.
Yep, Perez the target. Looks like holding coming. Veza got it off, and incomplete. Another dangerous ball with pressure, and a holding penalty, it looks like, behind the play.
Well, they're going to get Bo Riley, the right tackle. And that's Alfred Shea, the linebacker, who almost brought in the football for an interception.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 55, 15-yard penalty, second out.
Toru Olajide held the face mask.
Yeah, I'm looking at 55 over here on the left. That's a face mask. I thought 75 on the right was getting flagged for holding, because look at that.
Following the penalty, second down and 25.
Going way up high.
Dude, anytime you get your hands on the backside of the shoulder pads, that's usually an indicator for a holding call.
So New Hampshire avoids disaster with the near interception, but pushed back to second and 25. And out of the reach of Chase Wilson. Look, Rick Santos has been aggressive today. You would have to imagine they play it conservative here on 3rd and a mile.
Well, that catch would have helped out, but 3rd and 25, there's not a whole lot of plays on the call sheet for 3rd and 25. So you got to start thinking about protecting the football and then field position, punting it on 4th down.
It's a short pass, and Wilson spins to the 45. He's stuck by Roman Pearson. 4th down.
Stopped by Roman Pearson, forcing 4th down.
has been a fairly clean football game, but in this drive alone, you can see the impact of penalties. You know, third, going from 2nd and 10 to 2nd and 25 is a drive killer.
You know, oddly enough, New Hampshire has been the most penalized team in the CAA this year after they were the least penalized team last year. Able to overcome it through 2 weeks for a couple of wins. Guided back to punt, Weatherly deep for Ball State. Here comes Weatherly. Perez able to wrestle him down. Oh, the ball's loose. A pile. New Hampshire pointing, indicating they have it. Flags fly as well. Got to sort out a lot, and for now, it's New Hampshire ball.
Fumble recovered by New Hampshire. Flag on the play.
Logan Perez is doing a phenomenal job on special
It's a
teams.
must ball recovered by the kicking team. Be first down for New Hampshire. We have sideline warning.
And Weatherly,
New Hampshire, the first of the game.
yeah, that ball is out. That ball is out, and I believe it's Raleigh Collins III.
It is Raleigh Collins who jumped on top of it. He's got a couple of picks this year, and now jumps on top of that for the second huge special teams play.
Raleigh Collins has been a turnover machine, and how about the special teams unit of New Hampshire?
First and goal for the Wildcats.
You know, when we're talking to coaches early in the week, it's easy for them to say, yeah, special teams, you know, it's going to be a big part of the game. It really has been the story of today so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody wants to talk of third phase. It's often forgotten. It's taken center stage here. You can tell New Hampshire puts a lot of emphasis on how their special teams are performing.
Perez, who's stripped, takes it around the edge and tackled at the 5. So even some of the offensive playmakers getting in on special teams. Ball State with plenty of mistakes to clean up. Mike Uremovich, known for having teams that really don't turn it over, don't make many miscues, but some big ones so far today in the home opener.
And in a close game like this, those are magnified even more so. And anytime you give the ball to the other team on the 5-yard line, not ideal.
Fake it, throw it, going to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Ryan Blagg on the jump ball, but he didn't survive the ground. Stripped out at the last second.
It's really good ball placement by Veza. And he goes to his big receiver, 6'4", 200. They're just going to run crossing routes. And beautiful job by Blagg to go up and get it, but unable to hang on to it. And Harmon in coverage, knocking the ball out. That's what's so important for a DB is you keep fighting all the way, trying to hit the football.
3rd and goal. Thomas in motion's out. Veza stopping, there's nothing there. Nathan Voris darts in.
Voris has been a disruptive force coming off the edge. He arrives on the scene. Micah Wing piles on as well. And it looked like Veza was running a Tim Tebow-esque fake quarterback draw, jump pass over top.
25 yards.
So it brings on the hero from last week, Nick Reed. Thought he'd be kicking here with Buffalo, where he was the starting kicker last year. A shaky start to the season, and he never kicked again. Now coming off the best week of his career. Off the upright. The wild swings in this game continue, and Ball State the latest benefactor. It is a week-to-week sport.
A lot of momentum changes, and right now Ball State has it in their favor.
Timeout. for media.
Special teams bingo cards filling up really quickly today. New Hampshire with a missed chip shot field goal after recovering a muff punt.
The operation looks pretty clean here. The only thing I would say is that the laces are facing inward towards the holder, and they're on the right hash, so ideally you want to put them in the opposite direction. And you see that's where the ball goes, hits that right upright. And you see the reaction from Coach Santos.
Both teams just trying to settle in, cut down the mistakes. Ball State's had quite a few miscues today, but in a tie game. Quay Ashley brought down after a solid gain on first down of 7.
Number 73 of the offense listed up for one play for losing his helmet.
Cole Mosier has to come out after losing his helmet on that last play.
Really nice job by Raleigh Collins coming up and run support. Fill in the lane. Good blocking on the edge by Ball State as well. Looking to see if it's Otto Hess that comes in at center.
It is, yep. So a backup center in for this snap. Clean snap. Ashley, great cut, got plenty of space. There he goes. Another explosive run, and Ball State leads 72 yards.
Quay Ashley continues to be a difference maker in the football game with his running. There's a nice hole that opens up. I believe it's Raleigh Collins, number 20, who comes up, and Quay is able to avoid him. Right there at the end, there's Collins. Quay makes 2 or 3 people miss within the first 4 yards of the line of scrimmage, and then it's off to the races. Nobody's catching Quay Ashley. And Ball State has their first lead of the game.
New Hampshire got out on the front foot. Ball State capitalizing off the missed field goal. Doesn't take much for Quay Ashley. Ball State front by 7. Quay Ashley breaks it loose for a 72-yard touchdown run. Ryan, since he got to Ball State, he said he's gotten his cuts a lot tighter, and we saw that.
Excellent footwork. That sort of run and ability on both these scores. Watch the footwork here. I always say this is cone drills, ladder drills in the summer, and then you see how it translates in game action. Quay Ashley, it's been a real spark for this Ball State offense.
Question was, what weapons would step up to support Kelly? We've seen a little bit of the pass game today, but no surprise it's been on the ground. Quay Ashley leading that charge. And a reminder, it was the missed field goal for New Hampshire just before that when it looked like they'd take the lead.
Yeah, you look at this as a 10-point swing. 3 that don't go on the board for New Hampshire, and then they turn it around and they have a 80-yard drive, 40 seconds, 2 plays, topped off by this guy, Quay Ashley. And I don't care what metrics you're using. Those are great stats for a running back.
I'd say that's a lot of yards per carry.
Yeah, that's right. If I knew how to do math, I would tell you what that is, but
we rely on calculators a lot these days.
Yeah.
Veza to Burke. That connection was really strong on the first drive. And the first catch for Caleb Burke since then. 26.8 yards per carry, thanks to our statistician, Will.
Yeah. Well, you know, you've referenced the UNH game that happened, or you know, whatever, that was a year before the iPhone came out. Now you're talking about calculators, and I always think you have to learn how to do math. You're not going to be able to carry a calculator around in your pocket. And boy, were they wrong.
Yes. Veza, quick pitch again. Wilson, the target, down the sideline, just stepped out of bounds. And marked out a yard short of the line to gain. Chase Wilson and Caleb Burke. Those have been the 2 guys in the pass game consistently.
They have, but I want to acknowledge there's number 16, Josh Fillion. While he hasn't caught a pass, he's attempted to throw one, but his blocking on the edge is the difference on that play alone between a 3-yard gain or a 9-yard gain. Sometimes wide receivers, you know, they always look at the receptions as the number you're looking at, but they can impact the game in a lot of other ways, and Fillion's found a way to do that.
Lined up on the left side of the formation and hauls it in here. Tackled by McCargo. Well, helps to get your hands on the ball once in a while, too.
That's right. Well, I always say that about the fullback. Like, you got to give your fullback the carry one time, and then you go back to blocking. So for Fillion, get him a touch, and he'll continue to give that effort blocking on the outside.
Former Ball State running back Carson Steele knows about the fullback life in the NFL now. New Hampshire still has not established much of a run game. That was a point of emphasis for them coming into this week. It has mainly been Veza through the air. Back to the air again, and Perez is swallowed up. Ball State's defense getting aggressive with Ashton Whitner and Jack Beebe.
Whitner has been coming up strong in run support. Now this one, I know it was a pass, but you're filling and you're shooting those same lanes, and the aggressiveness with which he's playing with allows him to shut that down for a loss.
You can tell at that sniper position, as Ball State's defense calls it, they're starting to creep forward because of those quick passes and the limited run game as well.
Absolutely.
Not much of a deep threat so far.
Second tackle for the loss on the season for Whitner, which again, starting in the defensive backfield. That's an impressive stat.
30-second timeout.
First timeout for New Hampshire here in the first half. 2 left to work with. And under 5 to go in the first half. Ball State's home opener. First home game for Mike Uremovich as the head coach. Cardinals looking for their first win after opening losses to Auburn and Purdue.
When we talked to Coach Uremovich this week, we asked him about whether it would feel different, whether he had any sort of different feelings with this one, running out with his team for the first time as the head coach at Ball State. And he candidly basically said, it's going to be the same for me. I told the players, I'm going to be coaching for 40 years. They're going to have to drag me off the sidelines. You guys only have 1, 2, 3 more times. So I want to win, but I want to win for you guys.
That's the approach for a true head coach. No-nonsense kind of guy, and he brought a whole bunch of new guys with him. From Butler and through the transfer portal as well. 53 new players are the top marks in the country. Second down and wide open. Colby Ramshaw rumbles ahead for a first down. And not many catches for the tight ends in this offense, but when they do get involved, it's pretty impactful.
Coming into this game, 3 total catches for the tight ends, and 2 of those went for touchdowns. So, you know, great play there by Ramshaw, but he's bringing their average way down.
37% of the career catches for the tight ends, top 4 tight ends, have been touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
So red zone, keep an eye on the tight ends. Not quite there yet. Play action, looking for Ramshaw again. And just out of his reach with Whitner in coverage.
New Hampshire, take a look at the official here. This is a pretty athletic move in the center of the field, right on the hash. He doesn't know it's play action, and he just gets and rolls. Stop, drop, and roll. New Hampshire has not been able to establish a run game, and they're very pass heavy, only 40 yards rushing through, 25 minutes of football.
And Corey Williams, the umpire, showing the athleticism there. Here is Thomason on the ground, cut to the outside, strung out. Joe Edric Lewis forces him out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and short.
And just, that's how it works. I don't know if that's Murphy's Law, but it's somebody's law. We talk about New Hampshire not being able to get the running game going, and they rip off a 9-yard carry. And Thomason almost looks like he was going to hit that sideline and make it an even bigger gain.
The coaches were so high on Thomason, 23 right there. Just haven't seen him much so far today, but Rick Santos has stuck to script. Quick passing game in the first half, trying to open up the run game for the second. Danson, the fullback, play action, throw it at Danson, got the first down. Again, an impactful catch for a tight end.
And they have a really good tight end room. I think you've mentioned that. But versatility for Danson to be able to line up as a fullback, block on ISO plays, and then go out and utilize his hands in a big spot to move the chains.
Ball State's offense has been explosive. New Hampshire's a little more methodical. Pretty darn productive here on the road. Helped out by some big special teams plays within 7.
Oh, they got the left guard. Olajide got up out of his stance a little bit.
False start. Offense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I may have said left guard, left tackle. Totally wild. And the quarterback is changing. You're going to see Veza change it a little bit. And then that causes left tackle to jump off. So he's anticipating a voice of snap the football, and when Matt Veza comes up to tell his offensive line, perhaps I'm changing the protection or I'm changing the play, maybe to the other side, caused Olajide to stand up out of his stance and get flagged for 5.
He looked on his heels to begin with Voris lined up on his side. Here comes Voris around the edge, handled well, and a strike over the middle. Veza taking serious heat, finds Ramshaw, who is now slow to get up.
Timeout.
And Veza laboring as well.
I believe it's Caden Johnson who comes for Ball State. Watch him get, Caden Johnson's going to blitz. A delayed blitz, there he goes, and he gets right in the face of Veza, who stays in the pocket, delivers a strike. That's a big hit, and Caden Johnson comes off limping. Veza was a little shaky, and Colby Ramshaw, who caught the football, there you see him grabbing his right leg, he's still down.
Veza's looks a little less severe just based on the body language. Let's hope Ramshaw's okay. Helped to his feet and now being helped off the field. He's a captain, major red zone target for this team. And gotten pretty involved on this drive as well. Now it is a deep tight end group, but Ramshaw certainly the leader of the pack. It looks like he's trying to fire up his boys at the sideline.
Well, he came off screaming, let's go. He understands this is a big drive, a big play. And that was a big catch, bailing out on 1st and 15 to pick up 14 of those short 2nd and 1.
And chewing up a bunch of clock as well, approaching the 2-minute timeout. Fake it to Thomason, over the middle, nobody home. Wilson the closest to it, and Veza way off target.
Veza threw it high. Chase Wilson fell down, but I still don't believe he had any chance of catching that football.
Interesting what the play call will be here. Now, Nick Reed obviously earned a lot of faith last week, going 4 for 4, but just missed a short chip shot. Rick Santos has been aggressive. 3rd and 1, certainly 4-down territory. High snap. Thomason wrapped up in the backfield. The timing was delayed. Helmet comes off late.
They're going to get Joey Stemler for a late hit. And I call it way late hit.
And Rick Santos is about to run onto the field.
Well, I mean, the play is blown dead. The 3 guys who have engulfed Thomason let go of him, and then Stemler comes in with a big shot at the end of this play.
Let's wait and see what the official call is, but it certainly looks like Stemler with a late hit, and the helmet of Thomason coming off.
After the play, personal foul. Defense, number 21. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. Number 23 of the defense must sit out for 1 play for losing his helmet.
Sound tells the story here.
The previous play is under review for potential targeting.
Yeah, after seeing that replay, I think that might be the last play of this game for Joey Stemler. Because that's targeting with an exclamation point on it. Because when I said way late, I mean 3 guys had already let go of Thomason, and Stemler came sprinting from the goal line.
Such an unusual targeting situation with how late it was. One more look. It looked like everybody had let up when Stemler came in. Do you see an indicator there as far as a launch, a thrust?
Yeah, well, I think that's what I see. I see him coming up. You see his head coming up. Clearly hits him in the helmet. And that's, targeting generally, there's the crown of the helmet also. And, an indicator for that, what the officials look for is, are the eyes facing the turf? And I don't believe that to be the case for Joey Stemler.
Now that shoulder did come in high. It doesn't have to be the crown of the helmet. Again, you get that upward thrust.
After review, we have a personal foul with targeting. Number 21 of Ball State is disqualified. Number 23 of New Hampshire can stay in the game.
Now Thomason's helmet came off. He can stay in the game because it came off due to a penalty. And Stemler's ejected. Disqualified, rather.
And Stemler is a big piece. He's one of the returners who's played a lot of football here at Ball State, from a great high school program, Cincinnati Elder. But that's going to put more on Caden Johnson.
This is a 2-minute timeout.
So after all that, we have reached the 2-minute timeout. Stemler disqualified. New Hampshire knocking on the door late in the first half. Joey Stemler disqualified for a late hit and targeting, with Miles Thomason wrapped up in the backfield. Leader of the defense gone for the rest of the game now.
Yeah, leader both because of his experience as well as his production. He's the leading tackler for the Cardinals coming into this game. And you could tell he plays with a lot of fire and intensity. But it's got to be in between the whistles.
First and goal now for New Hampshire after the 2-minute timeout. Danson and Thomason in the backfield. Perez motions. Thomason waiting patiently. Bowling inside of the 3. You know, Ball State's been so explosive on offense here. You'd think they would start to use timeouts and preserve some time, try and get some late
Ball
points.
State, first charge timeout, 30-second timeout.
Maybe Coach U was waiting for you to suggest it. He was running down the sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the right call. And you want to, you know, hopefully you stop him if you're Ball State. But if not, next best option is have time to work on your 2-minute drive and potentially get some of those points back. Although thus far the team does not. I would like to see Ball State in a 2-minute timeout. It'd be interesting to see what that looks like because they are so run heavy.
A reminder, New Hampshire gets the ball to start the second half here, so a chance to tie the game. And if Ball State doesn't score, could take the lead at the start of the second. Bit of a action feel early in the season, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's often said, we've seen a little bit of everything. It's true that this afternoon for us.
Second and goal. Veza dives ahead. Touchdown.
Very interesting play design where Veza fakes it to his running back and then follows him up. The running back actually gets tackled by an unblocked Cardinal, and Veza finds enough room to squirt and dive into the end zone. Look at him put it in the stomach of Thomason.
That was friendly fire there.
Yeah.
It looked like Tolu Olajide pulling to sell the RPO, and then Veza takes it himself. Reed tacks on the extra point to tie it at 21. A 13-play, 75-yard drive, capped off by Veza's short touchdown run. This is a fun opportunity for Matt Veza. New Hampshire as a whole playing an FBS game, but this is the closest game to home that Matt Veza has played in his college career so far, coming from the western suburbs of Chicago.
And he's played pretty well. They've asked him to do a lot with his arm. You look at that, 25 attempts already, completing 18 of them. And, you know, you see the turnovers to touchdown to turnover to interception ratio. Veza's winning that as well. So he's been dynamic this afternoon, protecting the football and also being able to orchestrate these long drives that New Hampshire has had a couple of and get his team into the end zone.
He's got both parents, a couple of brothers, a few friends in attendance today, playing the best game of his career so far. Plenty of time for Ball State. And they'll start at the 25. So you saw the quarterback comparison, Kyle Kelly, as has been the story so far this season. Not much through the air, but dynamic on the ground. .188 rushing yards. Now in a 2-minute situation. So you see the explosive plays. Might need an explosive or a well put together passing drive here at the end of the half. 2 timeouts left for Ball State. It is Horton on first down. Spins across the 30.
3 rushing touchdowns and a half from 40 yards or more is impressive.
Fake it, Kelly. Knifes through a hole to pick up the first down inside of 2 minutes. End of each half. Clock will stop to move the chains. Trevor Berry, Darren Burton, the second combined for the stop. Out of the pistol, Kelly throws. Sideline. Ty Robinson tied up, and there's the flag with Zeron Skinner all over him.
Yeah, Robinson looks to get his hands free to go catch the football on the back shoulder fade.
Pass interference, defense, number 1. It's a spot foul and an automatic first down.
Got Skinner in coverage, and there he's holding him up, and you can see Robinson jumps up, and anytime a receiver jumps up and his arms don't go with him, that's kind of an easy call for the officials.
Easy one to sell, sets up first down. Weatherly around the edge, does a flip near the 40. And Ball State is moving. Approaching 1 minute, still 2 timeouts left to work with.
Great tackle by Raleigh Collins.
Collins jumped on top of the muffed punt earlier in the half. Designed run for Kelly. Cutting back, cutting ahead, first down.
Kelly for another Ball State first down.
That's just a stretch, zone blocking. Kelly just picks the lane that he wants and gets upfield. Nice piece of running by Kyle Kelly.
Looking downfield. Has plenty of room to run, finally decides to. And Kelly's inside of the 15. He wanted to throw it deep and wisely chose otherwise with a couple of New Hampshire players down.
For injured player on defense.
Skinner was down, Collins was down, Collins is up. Both of them being tended to. And Ball State offensively has the play, and they're looking to get their next play set and on the line. Good decision by Kyle Kelly to pull it down, and he's really effective when he gets into the open field, making a couple Wildcats miss.
Now over 1,000 rushing yards for his career with that 20-yard run. Back to it. Weatherly this time. Near the sideline and near the sticks as well.
Number 13 of the defense must leave the game for one play for losing his helmet.
8-yard gain. Ball State going tempo. Second down. And a false start.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That false start is the only thing that has slowed down the Cardinals' offense on this drive.
You know, we talked about, hey, 2-minute drill. They might need to air it out for the first time, really. And they said, no, we can do it on the ground still.
That's right. Yeah, you had the pass interference call, but this has primarily been on the ground. One other pass other than that.
Kelly rolling out. Bit of a stumble. Throwing back wide open. Cameron Anthony gives Ball State the lead at the end of a wild half.
This is a beautiful play call and execution by Kyle Kelly. He sold me on it. I thought he wanted to break contain to the outside. And yet when the defensive end came upfield and the right tackle protected him, he stopped and came out back to the left. Excellent job by Kyle Kelly, keeping his eyes downfield and finding his receiver, Cameron Anthony.
A 7-play drive, 75 yards in under 90 seconds.
Kyle Kelly isn't the only one who sold the run. There you see Cameron Anthony. He's going to block and then release. And you'll see all the linebackers coming towards us to the bottom of the screen. See that? And it clears the way for Cameron Anthony, wide open. Kelly puts it on him. And that was a near perfect 2-minute drive, 2-minute offense by the Cardinals.
Again, doing it unconventionally with so much on the ground. 243 rushing yards for Mike Uremovich. Drawing up some great plays. And the first career touchdown for Cameron Anthony from 45 minutes down I-69. And Fishers, Hamilton Southeastern High School grad. A happy point to someone in the stands with his first career score. Still time for New Hampshire. We've seen about everything.
We haven't seen a return for a touchdown yet, so. Will we get a chance?
Perez does have a chance. Here he comes, full head of steam. Tried to make it happen. A late flag with a late tumble. Some shoving. After Joey Stemler was ejected for targeting. Gotten a little bit chippy.
After the play, personal foul, kicking team, number 42, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So a 15-yard penalty after a 38-yard return. Leighton Starks called for it. There's 15 seconds left here, and Nick Reed showed he can kick it from 50 last week.
You know, there's penalties and there's mental mistakes, and then there's penalties and mental mistakes that result in points for the other team. And again, it was a third down that Stemler had his, which gave New Hampshire a fresh set of downs. And here we just that penalty just moved them into Ball State territory.
Already across midfield, just as you said. 15 seconds, 2 timeouts. Beza just past Wilson.
And Wilson slipped coming out of his break, or that would have been a perfect pass, and I assume he would have caught it. But take a look to the top of your screen. As Wilson's coming out of his break, he slips, and you can just notice that amount of time resulted in the ball being too far ahead. If he doesn't slip, that's a catch and out of bounds, and you're in field goal territory for Reed.
10 seconds, 2 timeouts, range with limited wind, 52 for Nick Reed. Going against the wind here. Beza scrambles out, has lots of space, dives across the 35 with 4 seconds left.
New Hampshire.
And New Hampshire takes a timeout, their second, to trot out Nick Reed.
Looking where they're going to spot this football at.
The 34,
15 on the play.
which will make it a 52-yard field goal.
52. And if you take a look, those flags are actually blowing in the face of Nick Reed. Over top of the stands across from us, all the MAC conference flags are all distinctively blowing in the face of Nick Reed. You mentioned it, partner, 50-yarder last week. This is the outside of the range with no wind. We'll see if he's good from this distance with some wind in his face.
Timeout, Ball State.
Ball State. Second charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
Nick Reed took a swing at it anyways. Now, obviously didn't count. It was off to the left. But Nick Reed just got a practice shot from 52.
Already missed chip shot today. We'll see if that affects the confidence for Nick Reed here.
Well, that was from the right hash, obviously much closer. This is also from the right hash. That chip shot was missed off the outside of the right upright, and the practice 52-yarder we just saw was pushed wide left. I think I've broken down everything that happened in those two.
It's left to right.
I know.
Here we go. 52 yards for some late New Hampshire points in the first half. On the way, does it have the distance? Yes, but wide right. 4 for 4 last week. 0 for 2 from Nick Reed in the first half on the road today. What a half.
I think I'm going to take halftime to catch my breath here.
Yes.
And we're at, again, 49 combined points through half.
Ball State going for their first win of the season. New Hampshire for their 7th all-time FBS upset. A little bit of everything to start here. Special teams. New Hampshire's looked methodical and strong offensively. Ball State explosive on their offensive end. Up by 7 in their home opener.
Welcome back to Muncie, Indiana, where we had a half of football where just about everything that could happen, Jack, did in fact happen.
Oh my goodness. Started with a special teams play in big fashion for New Hampshire. A blocked punt for a touchdown, and back and forth we went from there. Ball State ahead by 7 at halftime. And look around the MAC on ESPN. Schedule's always loaded. Next Saturday, Miami, Ohio taking on a good UNLV program with Dan Mullen now at the helm, and Ohio's been the darling of the conference so far.
Yeah, I'll be there for that game, taking on Gardner-Webb, which should be a little easier than the one they have coming up tonight.
Yes, Ohio State, #1 team in the country. Toledo, Western Michigan should be a terrific game as well. MAC always has terrific matchups week in and week out. Well, where are these teams projected to finish? Ball State near the bottom. Toledo, Miami, Ohio. Those top three have seemed to separate in recent years, and also based on early prognostications this season.
They absolutely have. You'll have a team sneak up there and be in the conversation, but pretty consistently you can rely, like the seasons, which are a little unreliable now, but like the seasons, you can rely on Toledo, Miami, and Ohio always being in the conversation for the best in the MAC.
Ohio, the defending conference champ, and they just knocked off West Virginia at home last week. Outgained them by a bunch, too. Great day in Muncie. The rain starting to subside here at halftime with Ball State in front. Halftime in Muncie, Ball State leading New Hampshire by 7. Back and forth first half. Ball State's home opener. New Hampshire upset the Cardinals here 16 years ago and hanging right with FBS Ball State to start Muncie. As for the rest of the Mid-American Conference, 5 bowl wins last year, the most in conference history. It's been a good run for the MAC in recent years. And Buffalo does clip Kent State. Golden Flashes trying to get off the schneid. And tonight, Ohio and Ohio State, the battle for Ohio. Don't sleep on the Bobcats now. We said it right before break. Just knocked off West Virginia, 17-10. Talk about dual threat quarterbacks that we have here today, and Parker Navarro fits the bill.
Yeah, Parker Navarro, it might be a MAC school, but he's got the skills and the talent to play at just about any conference in the country. He's an excellent quarterback. And one thing, when you look at who Ohio has played both on the road and West Virginia at home, one thing I know is that the Bobcats are not going to be intimidated going into the Horseshoe to take on Ohio State.
And the New Hampshire connection to this matchup, I think I'm reaching here. Well, it's actually Ryan Day. In case you didn't know, Ryan Day, the quarterback at New Hampshire, late 90s into the early 2000s. His former offensive coordinator last year at Ohio State, Chip Kelly, now with the Raiders, was his OC when he was a player. That was a wild combination, wildly successful combination for the program.
Yeah, and you got to love how roles change throughout life. Here's Chip Kelly coaching Ryan Day, and then Ryan Day is the head coach, and Chip Kelly's underneath him just last year. So sometimes life works in strange ways.
A couple of New Hampshire natives, same elementary school through college, all of it. Gone on to do great things. Should be in for a great second half. Ball State ahead by 1 score. Ball State leading by 7 and an explosive first half in a number of ways here in Muncie. The home opener for the Cardinals, playing for their first win of the season. New Hampshire 2-0, going for their 7th FBS win all time. We are so happy to have you with us. Jack Kaiser alongside Ryan Cavanaugh. So much for settling in. We had a blocked punt within the first couple of minutes. It was a wild first half.
It absolutely was. And if you like points and you like offensive play, special teams play, stick around for the second half, because if it's anything like the first one, you're going to be in for a treat.
That's the positive way to spin it. Also, a lot of mistakes for both teams. Miscues specifically on the Ball State side.
Yeah, and it started with this block punt. DJ Johnson for New Hampshire, Brandon Ty, and quick score for New Hampshire, looking to shock Ball State. And then what a play by Duncan Moreland, the one-handed interception. And then finally, a punt that gets stripped away by Logan Perez and sets up New Hampshire with a short field. That was the result of it, though. Was a extra point, a field goal rather, off the upright. And then this hit by Joey Stemler, their leading tackler. And the result of that was not only a disqualification for Stemler, but a first down and a Matt Vezza touchdown. And then finally, to end the half, the usually reliable Nick Reed misses it. He's 0 for 2 on the day for field goals.
On the Ball State side, Quay Ashley, when the Cardinals have been in rhythm, it's been the Quay Ashley show.
He's been very good, especially from long range. This is a 43-yard touchdown run, just keeps his balance and gets inside the pylon. And then a 73-yard touchdown run where he does a little bit of dancing through the hole and then takes that gear shift, puts it into high, and takes off for the end zone.
Remarkable first half for Quay Ashley with 134 yards, couple of touchdowns on the ground. Ball State put together a nice 2-minute drive at the end of the half to take the lead as well. Look at the time of possession. That shows how explosive the Ball State offense has been. When they have scored, they've done it quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I look at also is New Hampshire's getting it done with the passing yards, $156, and they've been struggling to run. And Ball State hasn't really tried to pass because their rushing is so good. 243 on the ground in one half is solid work.
Going to be a fascinating chess match in the second half. New Hampshire mentioned they wanted to use the pass early to open up the run game for the second. Kyle Kelly and the Cardinals with the lead going to the third quarter. You're watching the MAC on ESPN. These guys are ready to go. Lined up for the start of the second half with Ball State in front by 7. Jack Kaiser, Ryan Cavanaugh, great to have you with us in Muncie. Ball State going for its first win of the year. New Hampshire 2-0, fresh off a tight win over Holy Cross. Down by 7 with the ball to start the third quarter. Logan Perez through the pouring rain tumbles to the 30. But rain's going to be a factor here in the second half.
Yeah, we just consulted with the weatherman, and it looks like the band of rain that is here extends a little bit longer than perhaps we or the players would want. So we might see a steady dose of steady rain.
Our de facto weatherman, our spotter, Jaron Matheny.
That's right.
Just under 80 degrees. It's cooled off a little bit. It was pretty hot during the afternoon, but plenty of rain in the area. And you would think that favor Ball State with how well they ran it and how well New Hampshire passed it in the first half. Matt Vezza coming off the best half of his career. It's a run to Thomason. Spun down in the backfield. Conley diving on top of him to finish him off on the first play.
Nice job by Roman Pearson as well, shooting up from the defensive back position. There's Pearson turning Thomason back in. And as he spun to get away from Pearson, Darren Conley running across the line of scrimmage, lit him up.
What adjustments do you want to see from this Ball State defense against New Hampshire, the way they attacked him in the first half?
Well, they've got to hold the line of scrimmage and find a way to get in and impact Vezza, get him off schedule. Because when Vezza's been able to comfortably sit in a pocket, in a clean pocket, he's been great finding open receivers and delivering the football to them. So, you know, I haven't seen Ball State bring a lot of pressure in the form of blitzes or exotics.
It's not an attacking defense by blitz percentage. When we talked to defensive coordinator Jeff Knowles earlier in the week, they just rely on the get-off from the defensive line. It really hasn't been there a ton so far. Third and long for Vezza. Chucking it deep, going for Burke, and incomplete with Will Yates going step for step.
Really good coverage by Will Yates. Yates is one of the best cover guys on the team. Look at Will Yates just running with him, perfect position, getting his head around. Burke tries to work inside, but the ball was thrown outside. But Will Yates stonewalled him and did not allow him to get to the football.
You know, him and Eric McLean, a couple of sophomore corners that were thrown to the Wolves last year as freshmen. Starters midway through the year and really starting to develop in this Ball State defense. 3 and out on New Hampshire's opening drive of the second half. Line drive punt pushing Keon Magwood back. Got some space. And New Hampshire outflanks him to force out Magwood around the 25. Well, the scouting report was pretty accurate for Kyle Kelly based on what we saw in the first half. Made some timely throws, but his threat on the ground really opened it up for Quay Ashley.
Yeah. Carrying the football was Kelly much less than he has in the first 2 games. Only 5 carries in the first half, but effective, 79 yards and a touchdown. And 9 passing attempts, 5 for 9. You see it right there.
Good catch for Kelly with a wide snap. And he'll take the 3 yards.
Kyle Kelly keeps on the play.
Run more than he's thrown to start the season. Did orchestrate a nice 2-minute drive to give Ball State the lead at the end of the first half. But in case you're just joining us, the story for Ball State on offense in that first half was explosive runs, and most of those were from Quay Ashley, the running back.
3 touchdowns on the ground from 40 yards or more for the Cardinals.
TJ Horton lined up alongside Kelly. Quick pitch to him. Shimmy shake. Defender down. And Horton plows ahead for a first down. Left DJ Johnson in his wake.
And they'll move the chains for a Ball State.
TJ Horton with the leg drive, refusing to go down. We've got another flag down on the field. And
this was also a story in the first half, starting with the targeting call on Stemler.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 93. That's the first of the game for rejection. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
it's Tim Bongura, one of their really strong interior defensive linemen, and he's pleading his case on the sidelines.
Well, you can see the Ball State player. It looked like Magwood was talking first, and then it's always the second guy.
Right.
It's still Horton. And Ball State's getting 4 to 5 yards a carry whenever they want, if not more.
I mean, you know, you can look at those stats and say you want more passing yards, and I would respond why. Because right now they're very effective. I expect them to throw it in a timely fashion, but so often coaches get away from what's working because they've been doing it too much. And you see it at all levels. And it's like, well, we need to throw the ball now. Sometimes you don't need to. Just keep running the football when you have success like this. I mean, the offensive line is reestablishing the line of scrimmage.
TJ Horton passed the line to gain another Ball State first down.
And there were questions about the Ball State offensive line coming into the year with the only returning starter being Chris Hood.
Yeah, look at the line of scrimmage where they're at, and look at all the black jerseys pushing New Hampshire downfield. I mean, when you've got guys in defensive linemen 3 yards off the ball in the wrong direction, that means the offensive line is getting their job done.
There's plenty of size on the left side. Adam Dolan, the backup left tackle, 6'9". Oh, Horton delivers a blow to get to the 30. This is a physical start to the drive for Ball State.
Yeah, you mentioned that the two left tackles rotated. They're 66 right there. That's Chris Hood. And behind him is Adam Dolan, 77. Dolan was an all-conference player at Butler for 2 years, and he came over with Coach U. And Adam Dolan is not usually anything but the tallest guy in the room in most situations, 6'9", 309. But in the offensive line room, he is, because Chris Hood is 6'10".
For perspective, second tallest player in NFL history, Dan Skipper for the Lions, 6'10". As Quay Ashley spins ahead a yard short of the first down line. Setting up 3rd and 1. You know, Kyle Kelly said, with this kind of size and athleticism, you see the uncle there, Brad Miller, for Chris Hood. Got to look before you throw. It's hard to see. Kelly dancing. It'll be close and officially ruled a first down.
That is a great individual effort by Kyle Kelly, because one of the New Hampshire defenders had him in the backfield. He made a miss and then ran into another defender, and he had to work and move his body to get to the first down yardage. We're going to take a look at it here. Great job of avoidance. Boom. It was Matthew Sopp, the linebacker, who hit Kyle Kelly, and Kelly, who is 6'2", big guy himself, able to get the first down yardage.
Kelly looking over the middle, Ashley into the end zone. Third touchdown for Ashley, and his first through the air. Largest lead for Ball State today.
Quay Ashley comes out of the backfield, and they bring the jet motion, and you see the linebacker bite on the motion, and Quay Ashley runs right behind him, but Jackson Downey, number 8, comes up, and nobody's on Ashley. Bad snap.
Bad snap, picked up, Stumbaugh, chucks it, incomplete.
The point after is no good.
Again, we've seen a little of everything with the special teams today, but still a net positive for Quay Ashley and the Cardinals. Ball State coaches said You better get to know Quay Ashley. 3 touchdowns in his home debut for Ball State. Quay Ashley with a video game type of day.
Well, he is certainly making a case for the MAC Offensive Player of the Week with what he's done here today. Do you think he has a passing touchdown in his bag for the second half?
I wouldn't rule it out. Got 1 receiving, 2 rushing, explosive all around for Quay Ashley. And yeah, we spoke with Mike Uremovich a couple of days ago. He said the most explosive players on our team are Kyle Kelly, Quay Ashley, and TJ Horton. And those 3 have really been the driving force for this Ball State offense.
Certainly were on that last drive.
Darren Burton is second on the return. Doesn't even get to the 15. More flags come out. With Caden Johnson tied up for Ball State near the 30.
Johnson certainly thinks it's on New Hampshire.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 6. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And he would be right. Players oftentimes aren't right when they start to point. But that will back up New Hampshire even further on a critical drive for the Wildcats run.
Yeah, look, they came away without points at the end of the first half. They were 3 and out here. Ball State goes down and scores. So all the momentum right now and the energy is in favor of the Cardinals. Veza and this Wildcat offense needs to figure out how to get some of that back.
Thomason spun down at the 1. It is Caden Johnson again getting more playing time with Joey Stembler out after the targeting call.
And now you see Johnson limping off. We're going to see Jackson Weagold, the 3rd middle linebacker, coming into the game. But look at the burst from Caden Johnson. Jets right through the hole, pulls Thomason down. Not what New Hampshire wanted on first down.
Chance for this Ball State front 7 to tee off. Beza hanging in, throwing, incomplete. Tight coverage intended for Josh Fillion.
Jack, I often say, when you're in the red zone Whether you're going in or you're coming out, the playbook shrinks. So Coach Santos right now has to be very careful. You've got your quarterback in the end zone, throwing the football. And obviously they want to extend this drive, but 3rd and 13 is not where you want to be, especially, again, with your letters on the L of Ball State in the end zone.
From his own end zone, Veza scrambles out, past the 10, leaps in the air. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Veza airborne for the first down.
That is a risky play, but it's one that will fire up his offensive teammates. And it looked like Conley goes in there first. Yep, Darren Conley. He's unable to grab him. More pressure from Amir Glenn. And look at Matt Veza going upstairs. And just enough to get the first down because Jack Beebe was right in position.
It ended up being a smart decision because the momentum switched there. Could have been knocked on his back by Beebe. Got the first. And on first down, he connects with Chase Wilson to move the sticks again. Matt Veza making it happen here on a critical drive.
Watch the quarterback, Matt Veza, move the defense with his eyes. He's going to look to the side, and all he's doing is moving defenders and opening up the middle of the field. Beautiful job by Veza. This offensive line was advertised as being very good, and they've done a nice job of allowing Veza to get time to survey the field and complete passes.
Nothing there for Thomason.
Miles Thomas carries.
You know, as a former quarterback yourself, Ryan, there's subtlety to the position, and there's a lot of conversation about the development at that position in college now. You can see some of those subtle traits and moxie that Matt Veza does have.
I've been very impressed with what Matt Veza is doing here. I think it's extremely difficult to play at this level because of the complexities of the defense and the speed and the athleticism of the defense. And Veza has not looked shaken at any point this afternoon.
One cut for Thomason to make it 3rd and manageable. A couple of runs on this series.
Miles Thomason. Stopped by Darren Conley.
Again, no ground game, hardly at all for New Hampshire in the first half. Darren Conley on the stop makes it 3rd down and 4.
It is 3rd down. 3rd down and 4.
This may be 4-down territory for the Wildcats.
Veza with pressure over the middle. Burke slides in and slides ahead of the 45.
Beautiful play design. They had 2 receivers both running slants, and it develops all in front of Veza's face. So he gets to look, and he gets to look at the second one, and this was the outside receiver. Look at all the slants coming across the middle. Nice job delivering a hit, and nice job to get low because there was a safety bearing down on him.
When there has been success in the pass game for New Hampshire, it's been between the hashes so far. A methodical drive, once backed up to their own 1-yard line. Miney powerfully spinning over the 45, tackled by Scott Hudson.
Elliott Miney on the carry.
Beautiful block by Peyton Strickland, the tight end, coming across,
Brought down by Scott Hudson.
which allowed Miney
Gains
to
4
get into the
yards,
hole.
2nd and 6.
You never know how an FCS team is going to look physically compared to an FBS team coming on the road. New Hampshire can match Ball State's physicality.
Yeah, a lot of times when you go FBS to FCS and you look at it, it's the depth where it's set apart. Different scholarships, not as many, but generally the number ones, like right here, they don't look like they're mismatched.
Miney coming out of the backfield. Veza chooses the tight end, Strickland, for a first down. Ball came out late. Forward progress was stopped.
Correction, Peyton
And you see Peyton Strickland getting some more run here. Colby Ramshaw left on crutches in the first half, and this drive is a perfect example of mixing it up and doing well. 4 rushes and 5 passes thus far in this drive.
Highlighted by the Matt Vezzo run out of his own end zone on 3rd and 14. Hopping over Jack Beebe to pick up the first down. Largest deficit for New Hampshire today. Vezzo rolling, throwing. Perez can't make the catch.
Pass into the end zone is incomplete.
Will Yates just behind, and Perez had an opportunity.
Down for New Hampshire.
Beautiful ball placement by Vezza, and he was under heavy pressure. You see Vezza taking a shot at the end. Will Yates, one of the best cover guys for Ball State, is right with Perez, and as the ball's in the air, Yates turns, looks at it, and that's where the separation between Perez and Yates occurred. Just unable to bring it in was Logan Perez. And in a game like this, those are the big plays that you need to have if you're New Hampshire.
Vezza couldn't believe it. 2nd and 10. Pressure off the edge. Vezza rolling again. A throw behind his intended receiver, Wilson.
Vezza's pass is incomplete.
And after that play, Vezza took both fists and tapped the sides of his helmet. He knew he missed him, but in fairness, that's a really difficult throw. When you're going to your right, you're throwing behind your body, and it's not a stationary man. He's also moving. There's a lot of movement going on there. Your body's going. Generally, when you throw, you want to get your shoulders and your body going at the target, wherever that is. And it's impossible when you're being chased to do that. So you're actually throwing against the inertia of where you're going.
One that his receiver missed, one that Vezza missed to set up 3rd and long. Nearly intercepted.
Pass incomplete.
Jackson Weagle, the 3rd string middle linebacker, almost had a game-altering play.
It's thrown right to him, but he doesn't get his head around in time. He's looking for his man, dropping. Now watch, the ball's up, and there's his head. And Weagle unable to bring it in, and we are lined up for another 52-yard field goal attempt.
Had one at the end of the first half and missed it. A short miss for Nick Reed as well. With the win now. Everything's clean. Got the leg. And good by a mile.
Ball State 34, New Hampshire 24.
2 misses in the first half. Nice response for Nick Reed in New Hampshire. Points when they need it. Now within 10. Coming up next Saturday, the MAC on ESPN. Here's the slate. Jack Kaiser alongside the Dean of the MAC, Ryan Kavanaugh. You're all over the place, man. Who do you like in the MAC so far?
Well, I really like Ohio. We talked about that. I think Central Michigan, you know, they got put on them today by Michigan, as you expect, but they had a big-time road win early in the season, San Jose State, I believe. And I think, you know, when you get new coaches, like right now, so many new players for Coach Uremovich. He's got his own guys. He's got his own staff. And sometimes it takes a year. But I think when you start seeing some of the coaches who take over a program year 2 and then especially year 3 is when they really start to realize some success. But I promise you, Coach U is not thinking about year 2. He wants success right now.
Trying to help Ball State turn it around after a 3-9 season. Field goal on a long drive for New Hampshire. Dangerous return man, it's Ashley. Sliced down at the 10-yard line. Cohen Cook on the tackle. Ball State back to work with a 10-point lead in their home opener against FCS New Hampshire. Ball State lacked red zone execution in their losses to Purdue and Auburn. Doesn't matter if you don't have to go in the red zone, you can score from outside of it. That's what they've done today.
Yep, very, very effective. Of course, that one touchdown in the red zone was touchdown pass from Kyle Kelly to Cameron Anthony on the delayed release from the tight end.
Ball State up 2 possessions. Quay Ashley stuffed on the initial run, something New Hampshire has had a very difficult time doing today. Zach Guerin in on the tackle. We talked about it being a big drive for New Hampshire on offense this last series. Conversely, a huge drive for Ball State on offense to try and take control of the game.
Well, and Ball State is now huddling up, which we haven't seen a whole lot of. So I expect New Hampshire's pace to speed up when they're on offense, and for Ball State to just move the clock a little bit.
Couple of nice jump cuts for Ashley to make it 3rd and manageable. Looking very sharp today.
Flanagan on the stop.
Ashley has really, really quick feet. How about that?
Picks up 6
That's a
on the
lot
play.
of yardage
3rd down and 4.
on the last 3 drives for Ball State. They'd love to do it again.
They didn't have a touchdown coming into this game. 3 total points.
Well, that speaks to playing on the road against an SEC team, a Big Ten team.
In rhythm on offense today with the ground game. To the air, Ashley stutter step for the first down.
Quay Ashley on the reception. And past the line to gain.
Really nice play here by Quay Ashley. You know, open field tackling is the hardest thing to do, and it's even more difficult when you got a guy that can make moves like this.
Where's Chris Berman with the what?
I was waiting for you to hit that.
Weatherly around the edge. Finds a seam. And hammered out of bounds by Cohen Cook.
Weatherly on the carry.
This looks like the best version of the Ball State offense, though. Short, accurate passes from Kyle Kelly, and then dominant in the run game.
Game 7.
They're mixing it up.
Second down.
And you mentioned earlier, can you get creative with running? And we're seeing it right there, getting the ball to Weatherly out on the edge. Kyle Kelly, after he handed it off, took a shot from one of the Wildcats defenders and is pleading his case to the officials. Now, you don't necessarily get it there, but they'll keep an eye on it now.
On the naked, Kelly trying to flip his shoulders and slips. Has been raining off and on today, making the new turf a little bit more slick.
Drop for a loss back to the 26.
And I know Kelly has been working on just not being a run-first type quarterback, but in a situation right there where he could have got 4 or 5 yards, make it 3rd and short, or even move the chains, that may have been the better decision than trying to spin backwards.
Yeah, understanding the timing of when to take off. That has been the challenge for Kelly early in the season. His first year as a starting quarterback. 3rd and long. Out of the pocket. Kelly all kinds of time. Dances past Guerin. Still a chance to throw and connects with Gross.
Kyle Kelly completes.
Way too much time for Kyle Kelly.
First down.
When a quarterback like Kyle Kelly can avoid rush like that and move around, it's important for the receivers to identify. Take a look at Gross, how deep he is, and watch him sprint and start working back to the quarterback right along the hash there. Kelly finds him, completes the pass. Those are scramble drills. If you're short, you go deep. If you're deep, you come short. Gross did a great job of identifying his quarterback had broken the pocket, and he needed to break off of his route.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter. Timeout.
And a big-time first down between a couple of guys that have been playing catch for 4 years when they linked up in Tampa. Ball State by 10. Ball State fans better get used to the run. The Coach U blueprint. First-year head coach coming over from Butler has this ground attack in full force. TJ Horton in the run game. Stopped on first down, but Ball State approaching 300 rushing yards. Some timely passes. Make no mistake, this will be the bread and butter for Ball State going forward with Mike Uremovich as the head coach.
That being said, he has to be happy with the quarter that Kyle Kelly played. Not just running the football, but throwing it as well. 4 for 4 for 50 yards. And Kelly's doing a great job running this offense.
Horton tied up at his ankles.
Horton carries again.
All right, Jordan McAllister, the defensive end. So another big 3rd and long. Kelly able to buy time, pick up the last one as New Hampshire tries to hang in with the Cardinals on the road.
McAllister is one of the best pass rushers for New Hampshire, and while that wasn't a pass, you can see the quick first step to get past his man and get a hand on Horton.
5 for 6 on 3rd down today. More time for Kelly and way too much space. Another long 3rd down pickup for Kyle Kelly. Could be a backbreaker for New Hampshire today.
Credit goes to the offensive line here. Take a look at the job they do, and this is something Kelly's worked on, is not immediately pulling it down, but as he bought all that time, the receivers were still getting downfield, which means the defense is getting downfield, and it opens up those rushing lanes for Kelly to get the first down yardage.
17-yard pickup, 97 rushing yards today. The dynamic dual threat quarterback. Ball State's at midfield with a 10-point lead in the 4th. Quay Ashley has had the best day of any Ball State Cardinal, no gain. You know, talking to Kyle Kelly a couple of days ago, he said what hurts most after a game, because he's a very active runner, is his feet. That's how much he's on the move.
Yeah, he's what a delight. He's an extremely intelligent, thoughtful young man. Although I call him young, he says, you know, when I got here, I had the seniors to learn in the older class, but now I'm that guy. So he's really embraced the leadership role and being that positive influence and the veteran to the others on the Ball State team that others were before him for him.
Looking for Robinson on the bubble and swatted down by DJ Johnson for yet another 3rd and long, 3rd and 10.
Nice job by Johnson. So he's getting stonewalled. I believe it's Tristan Cook. And Johnson knows he's not going to get home. So he gets up, gets his hand in the passing lane, and is able to swat it down.
Looked like vintage Ryan Kavanaugh with that vertical.
If I had a mini trampoline, maybe.
Can Kelly do it again? To the air, Robinson. Incomplete. Jackson Stone, the safety in coverage.
And Stone's hand, I believe, knocks this ball away, but he has no idea where the ball is. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But watch the left hand of Jackson Stone. I don't think, maybe he didn't get it. Maybe it was just
clean.
It was clean, yeah.
Robinson had a chance, and you could tell he knows he had a chance.
Miles Thomas in deep for the Wildcats.
So New Hampshire's got a shot here. Down by 10, 12 minutes to go. Already a blocked punt recovered for a touchdown today. Here they come again. Would have been their 4th block kick of the year. And that's kick catch interference. Hits a Ball State player first. Flag came out immediately. And the ball should be dead around the 10 along with the penalty. DJ Fields got there a little bit early.
Catch interference. Kicking team, number 15. 15-yard penalty. You spawned a foul. First down, timeout.
Ball State mistakes helping keep New Hampshire in the game. 15 extra yards. Back to work coming up.
We got to make sure that it's a 4-quarter game. I think the later that it goes on in the game and it's close in that manner, I think the pressure all gets flipped on them. So if we can be closer up going into the second half, going into the fourth quarter, I think it gives us a great opportunity to close them out.
Within striking distance, Rick Santos' team coming on the road looking for a third straight win to start the year when he was the quarterback for New Hampshire. 3 FBS wins over Rutgers, Northwestern, and Marshall. Chance for New Hampshire in the fourth. Miles Thomason starts the drive with a 5-yard gain.
Thomason up the middle. Stop by Jamad Harmon. Also Amir Glenn. Gains 5. Second down.
I know it only ended in a field goal, their last drive, Ryan. But the long, methodical drive to get any points, 52-yard field goal, that was critical at that juncture in the game. Deflected and incomplete, intended for Wilson.
Pass is incomplete. Broken up by DeJuan Eccles.
And they find themselves at 3rd and 5. And New Hampshire is calling and running plays with a little more urgency now than they had in the first half. And I'm sure that was by design to shorten the game. Keep, as Coach Santos just said, keep his team within striking distance. But this certainly is one of the bigger plays of the game thus far for New Hampshire. And they've got Sean Hickey, number 91 in. He's a freshman defensive lineman. You see him on the right. He's actually playing outside on the right tackle, an extra lineman.
High snap. Veza makes a cut. First down and plenty more.
Matt Veza carries for the first
Matt
down.
Veza does it with his legs again.
That they bring in the extra offensive lineman or defensive lineman, however you want to look at it. And that usually means run. And Veza able to find a seam, goes right behind Luke Rogers, their left guard. and they flipped the field. Great play by their quarterback, Matt Vezza. We haven't seen him use his feet for design runs as much as we may have expected, but he comes through in a big moment.
69 rushing yards now for Vezza after the 30-yard carry. As his tight end Strickland lowers the shoulder for a first down to the 30.
Pass caught by Drew Danson.
Make it Drew Danson on the catch.
Defended by Roman Pearson.
Reminder, Colby Ramshaw, the top tight end option, out with an apparent injury.
2nd and 1.
The chains on the other side were a little early to move, but they only got 9 on the pass to Danson, so they had to reset the chains.
Over 200 yards passing now for Vezza. First-year starter, best game of his career so far to keep New Hampshire in it. Another high snap, and he's decked. Vezza still down, did well to hang on to the ball with DeJuan Eccles Jr. flying in.
With the tackle.
Vezza's up. Eccles Jr., look at his ability to just go right at the quarterback, and the bad snap obviously played a role. But DeJuan Eccles, who the coaches identified as playing a really good game last week, rotates in with Micah Wing, and those two push each other to get better. Eccles is staying on the field.
A sack and a couple of forced fumbles last week for Eccles. 3rd and long. Here comes the pressure, and they got him again. Nathan Voris for a big-time loss. And well out of field goal range.
Voris is the guy on Ball State's defense that you have to identify and pick up when you're blocking, but they move him around. So look, he's actually standing up as a linebacker, and they run a little, there's no stunt. He just comes right through, and there's nobody there to pick up Nathan Voris.
Second blown assignment in a row, leading to 2 sacks. So New Hampshire had a golden chance, especially with that long run from Vezza, to cut it to a 1-score game. Here's Guy DeBeck. And Joedric Lewis lets it bounce inside of the 5. Nice punt from Guy DeBeck. Ball State pinned, but in control. Couple of sacks to the defense. Get on the ball back. Brian, look away. This is a nightmare for a quarterback.
I mean, 4 sacks today for this Ball State defense. 5 last week. Coming in, Coach Uremovich said their biggest advantage coming into this game is going to be their defensive line against New Hampshire's offensive line. And as the game has gone on, those words have proven to be very, very prophetic and true, because those guys on the defensive side have turned the heat up here in Muncie.
Didn't see it much early, but a lot of pressure late in the second straight game with at least 4 sacks for Ball State, even in the loss at Auburn. Now a chance to essentially put the game on ice. Kelly wrapped up in the end zone for a safety. And that makes it a 1-possession game. Justice Akinmoladen on one play flips everything.
And this happened because Kelly turns the wrong way. He's expecting a handoff to the left, and his running back, TJ Horton, goes to the right. Take a look at this. He's handing it off over there, realizes that his guy is not, his running back's not there. Big play by Akinmoladen. Wow.
I mean, really the one thing you couldn't do. Some kind of turnover. A safety cuts it to an 8-point game. That's 1 possession with a 2-point conversion. And New Hampshire gets the ball now.
And if Ball State is able to hang on to this lead and come away with the win, they're going to look back and say, we should have won this game by 3-4 touchdowns if we didn't have the miscues, if we didn't give them the short field on fumbles, if we didn't make the mistakes to extend their plays. And right now, something to consider, the missed extra point by Ball State would have made it a 9-point lead, but as you said, 8 points is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
And Perez almost broke it loose. Good field position for New Hampshire. Across the 40. Early in the season, program rebuilding. Not going to come without some bumps, and we have seen a few of them from Ball State today.
Yeah, you take a look at the bottom right of your screen there, fumbled punt return. That's not counting the personal fouls as well. You know, catch interference on the last punt. Now a safety, so the errors continue to mount for the Cardinals.
Looking for their first win. Rick Santos said all the pressure is on them if it's close in the 4th quarter. Here we are. Beza sliding through that defensive line into the 2nd level across the 45. Ashton Whitner on the tackle. Beza looks so smooth with the way he runs.
Yeah, you can tell he's a plus-level athlete. Great body control, very fluid. Right now, the pressure looks to be on Luke Swain, the center, because that was another high snap. Swain started at guard last year, moved to center, but he knows the offense very well, puts him in a good spot, makes all the line calls.
And that defensive lineman, Sean Hickey, you mentioned on the right side again. That's the way they run with Thomason. Extra lineman didn't matter. Nathan Voris in on the stop along with Jack Beebe to make it 3rd down and 4.
Never thought I'd have 2 Skinner references in a game, but he's playing that position, bringing the extra lineman. He's on the line of scrimmage. Hickey leaves the game, and they go back to a more conventional look with Peyton Strickland replacing him at tight end.
Biggest play of the game. 1-score game after the safety. Fake it to Perez. Beza launching deep. It's Burke, and they got him. Trying to dance past Yates all the way down to the 10.
Burke and Yates have been battling all afternoon. This round goes to Caleb Burke. And this is great. You're going to see Voris get a shot on Veza, so who hangs in the pocket, delivers a strike to the wide open Caleb Burke.
"42 yards inside of the red zone, under 6 minutes left. Veza rolling out. A great block to spring him free, but dragged down from behind by Voris. The Bryant transfer has been everywhere in the second half.
Yeah, Voris started his career at University of Connecticut, wanted to get it more on the field, so he went to Bryant and absolutely showed out. That brought him to Ball State, and he's just doing more of what he did at Bryant right here in the MAC. He's a real talent for the Ball State Cardinals defense.
Jeff Knowles said he always sees him in the meeting room watching film by himself every night. Saved a touchdown, perhaps there. Second and long. Thomason, tight cut. And a minimal game to make it third and long.
See, Ball State's bringing pressure off the edges, really trying to disrupt Veza and not allow him to have time. And they nearly had their 10th tackle for loss on the afternoon right there, but they were able to get inside of it.
With that pressure off the edge, how does New Hampshire adjust?
Well, you got to go inside of it, or you have to have a back and just push him further upfield. You got to use that angle and the aggressiveness against them. And then your quarterback slides underneath.
Ball State rushes 7. Veza, quick throw. Burke drops it in his hands. Jamad Harmon was a step behind.
Matt Veza throws this football exactly where you want it to be. And that is a ball that Caleb Burke catches 99 out of 100 times. We just saw that one right out of his hands. And this is an interesting decision here. You know, Santos and New Hampshire like to go for it on fourth often. It's 4th and 9, but now it's still, even if they make it, a 5-point game.
Got 3 timeouts left, just over 4 minutes to go. 29 yards. Reed drives it through. That'll make it a 5-point game. Interesting decision for Rick Santos. All the way inside of the red zone. New Hampshire needs a defensive stop. fascinating decision made by Rick Santos. It was 4th and 9, right at about the 10-yard line. Caleb Burke dropped a touchdown pass. He went for 3 to make it a 5-point game instead of the end zone to have a chance to tie it.
You could make a case for either going for it or kicking the field goal, which Coach Santos elected to do. You know, they're on the road. They want to win this game. They didn't come to tie it up, and now a touchdown gives them the lead. However, going for it on 4th, even if they don't get it, Ball State's got to drive 90 yards. You stop them, you get the ball in good field position. Then you get another crack at a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it up.
Ashley won't have a chance. That's out of bounds.
The 35-yard line. First down.
Talk about things you don't want to do. Giving them, and again, now they start at the 35, so we get more data points for that decision, which clearly he didn't know before he made it. But
a simple mistake from Nick Reed, who's had a very up and down day so far.
you see Coach Uremovich pointing to say, wind the clock.
Ball State trying to eat up the last of this clock and win their first game of the season in their home opener. Get the first win for Mike Uremovich as the head coach at Ball State. Ashley is swallowed up. Gain of 1. Again, New Hampshire has all 3 timeouts left.
4 minutes in college football can be an eternity at times. You'd like to keep a timeout or 2 for your offensive series, and they have plenty of time to do that if they are able to force a 3 and out here. Ball State is going to lean on their offensive line. Try and get a push.
Ashley once again has a bigger hole this time. Wrestled down a yard shy. Needed the 45. He's at the 44. DJ Johnson saves the first down. Now some tempo.
Yeah, and they may look to the side.
Kelly, not much space. Flag comes in from behind as well. Kelly just short, and there's a flag.
Holding offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And an easy call to take the penalty, send him back 10 yards, and not even give Ball State the option to go for it on 4th and short.
You know, we talked about the size of Chris Hood, 6'10", not well, but over 300 pounds. And it also brings attention to you when you're that big and ends up getting a holding call.
Justice Akinmaladen, who had the safety, blew up that play and drew the penalty. Inside of 3 minutes, 3rd and long. Kelly with space has the angle, and Kelly has the first down.
What a tremendous play effort by Kyle Kelly. Knowing where the sticks are, pulls it down and avoids a defender or 2 to get to the first down yardage. This is the problem when you have a quarterback on the other team that is so good at breaking the pocket and running. DJ Johnson had him short of the sticks. Look at number 7. Now he's chasing him. And that was Weatherly that just got in the way of DJ Johnson and allowed Kelly to get the first down yardage.
Ball State will run a play before the 2-minute timeout. Kelly stopped in the backfield. 3 timeouts left for New Hampshire, along with the 2-minute timeout here. This is the set of downs where New Hampshire needs a stop. Can Ball State close it out? We'll find out in a moment. Nick Santos leading New Hampshire into a tight game down the stretch in Muncie, and this program has been in this exact position before. Pulled off the upset over FBS Ball State 16 years ago, almost down to the day. Part of a string of 5 straight FBS upsets. But the Ball State ground game has been dynamic, trying to seal it on this drive. 2nd and long, Ashley. It'll be 3rd and long. 3 timeouts remaining for New Hampshire, and they use their first of the second half here. How aggressive does Ball State get on this 3rd and long?
3 yards.
Great question. I think they keep it on the ground, but perhaps their best play might be to show pass, and Kelly predetermined to break pocket and run. That's where they've had a lot of success. It'll be interesting also to see how New Hampshire defensively goes about their business, because they're now blitzing corners. They're playing man behind it. So I don't know if they're going to sit back in a zone or they're going to bring that same type of pressure.
Now Mike Uremovich did mention 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. Don't be surprised if we run, because I'll go for it on 4th and short. It'd be pretty dicey to go for it on 4th and short here with a 1-score game, and a touchdown sets you behind. But we'll see.
There's a time and place for everything. This may not be the time or the place to go for it on 4th down.
Big decisions. Under 2 minutes left. New Hampshire a chance to get the ball back. Fake it, Kelly. New Hampshire ready for it. And they get the stop.
Kyle Kelly brought down.
Trevor Berry on the tackle. Jordan McAllister as well. And the 2nd timeout used. New Hampshire's going to have plenty of time to try and go win this thing.
Now, he's not going to get the tackle, but I believe it's DJ Johnson, the Ed, on the other side. Look at number 7, staying in space and doesn't allow Kelly to get outside, which opens it up for his teammates, McAllister, all of them to come in and get their hands on Kyle Kelly, contain him, which is not always an easy thing to do.
Jackson Stone's actually the one who met him first after DJ Johnson forced the change in direction.
And there was that pressure. Stone is playing weak side safety, and he's in the box to shut down Kelly.
We started the game with a block punt, recovered for a touchdown.
Adam Saul punt.
Adam Saul's going to be careful here.
Number 7, DJ Johnson, he's the one who blocked the punt, and he's also got back there a couple times. Keep an eye on number 7 in white.
Left side of the formation. Nearly blocked. Low line drive. Thomason hops and picks. It's some positive yardage, but it's going to be a long field. With the way that was bouncing, seemed like Thomason could have let it go for a touchback.
Well, I wouldn't fault him on the effort. You know, he's a dynamic player. He's one of the guys who they want to have the ball in the hands. But we'll see where his feet are when he brings it in. Yeah, I mean, the coverage team's coming. He's got to pick that up, I believe.
It was close.
Yeah, no doubt.
One timeout, 1:39 remaining. And Veza picks up positive yardage on 1st down, finding Fillion.
Pass caught by Josh Fillion.
A chance for New Hampshire to do exactly what they did 16 years ago. An FBS upset over Ball State and Muncie. Up the gut and drops. Fillion open again. That would have put him at the 35.
When you're a receiver coming across the middle like that, there's a defender in your eyesight. It's very easy to take your eyes off the ball and look at the physical threat that's coming at you. Now let's see if we can see his eyes. Yeah, but he's got, you know, a safety waiting for him. That was Mahima Cargo.
Third down. Veza scrambles out and shakes for the 1st down. Jackson Weagle the tackle inside of 2 minutes. Clock will stop to move the chains. But a couple of Ball State players down in the backfield. Nathan Vore is one of them.
Nathan Voris and Micah Wing,
The two edge players.
and they're two most relentless, get after the quarterback guys. You see the frustration of Voris. I think he's just upset that he has to come out of the game.
Voris undercut Wing as he was blocked down into him.
Yeah, both players are up. It's a good sign. Micah Wing coming off the field.
But a chance for New Hampshire to collect themselves without using a timeout. And 1:11 to go.
And it's also a chance to run a passing play without Micah Wing or Voris in the game.
See how much time Veza has now that the top two pass rushers are out. First down. Conley on the hunt. Veza taking it himself. Moves ahead. Gain of 9 on first down. Clock inside of a minute.
Gains 9.
Ball State's only bringing 3, which means they're dropping 8 men in pass coverage. It's going to be hard for Veza to find somebody open.
50 seconds. Veza, Thomason. Clock will stop to move the chains. Ball at the 40. Still one timeout left for New Hampshire.
First down for the Wildcats at the 40.
Chance for their 7th FBS upset all time. Got a long way to go. And Veza is sandwiched. Gain of 1. Now they use the timeout. 33 seconds remaining with DeJuan Eccles on the tackle. Ryan, eventually they're going to have to go down the field.
Well, yeah, they're trying to, but they're going to have to take some chances. You're going to see Eccles on the top side of the screen, rushing the edge. He realizes he's not going to get there, so he loops all the way around the offensive and defensive linemen to put him in a spot to be able to tackle Veza as he ran through that hole. Very intelligent play. Very intelligent play by DeJuan Eccles Jr. They're gonna, you know, it's difficult because of the coverage and how many people are back there. I don't know that they have a chance just to throw a fade route, a go route up the sideline, but that may be the best option for them because right now, Veza is not getting enough time for any late developing routes.
Veza throws, knocked away from Burke. Will Yates breaks it up. 3rd down.
Great play by Yates. You know, Ball State has 3 safeties that are almost 20 yards off the ball. Then they've got the second level of linebackers and corners. They're going 5 across, and they're rushing 3. So anything short, they're going to let that go. But it's really hard to pass against a defense like this down the field.
Voris back in the game on the right side. Veza stepping up. He'll run, trying to get out of bounds. Ball goes out of bounds. Clock will run. 20 seconds. 4th down coming. Burke trying to get in position. 5 seconds. Last play of the game. And Ball State has its first win of the season. Ryan, it didn't come easy.
No, New Hampshire came in here and gave them all they could handle. Started early, took the lead twice, And once Ball State settled in, they were able to right the ship. But a lot of things to work on for Ball State with regard to the miscues and allowing, frankly, New Hampshire to stick around in this game because a lot of those miscues.
Quay Ashley, star of the game for Ball State on the ground. 154 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. Home opener is a victory for Mike Uremovich and the Cardinals after a brutal start to the schedule on the road. An impressive showing for New Hampshire. Ranked in the FCS, gave Ball State everything that they could handle. Had a little bit of everything today. New Hampshire jumped on top early, but Ball State in the ground game slowly asserting its will. 5-point win for Ball State in the end, 34-29. That's going to do it for us. For Ryan Kavanaugh, our producer Kyle Binder, director Steve Toll, I'm Jack Kaiser. Ball State with its first win in the Mike Uremovich era.